Next News. Breaking news from the White House.
I'm Gary Franchi reporting from the White House, and folks, what I'm about to tell you should send chills down your spine. Unidentified drones flying over the military base where Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth live. Now, this isn't some random airfield in the middle of nowhere. This is Fort McNair, less than 5 miles from where I'm standing right now, and nobody knows who's flying them. Now, let me be crystal clear about what's happening here. The two men responsible for our nation's defense and foreign policy, the men carrying out President Trump's America First agenda, are having their homes surveilled by unknown aircraft. This isn't a movie. This is real life, and it's happening right now in our nation's capital. And here's what should terrify every American. Multiple military bases across the country going on lockdown. Security alerts are going out to every American diplomatic post worldwide. The Pentagon won't even comment on whether they're moving Rubio and Hegseth to safety. And you want to know why this matters to you? Because if foreign actors, possibly Iranian-backed, can fly drones over the homes of our top officials, what makes you think that your community is safe? The war overseas isn't staying overseas anymore. Speaking of protecting what matters most, with threats hitting closer to home than ever, now is the time to think about securing your financial future. There are new numbers out of Washington, and it shows that inflation's on the rise again. Another threat to you, your savings account, and your retirement. So ask yourself an honest question. Does your dollar go as far as it did 10 years ago? What about 5 years ago? Even last year? My friends at Noble Gold Investments specialize in helping people protect their wealth with physical gold and silver. Whether you're rolling over an IRA or making a direct purchase, their team walks you through the entire process and makes it simple. Right now, all new qualified accounts will receive a free 10th ounce American Gold Eagle as a thank you. Visit nextnewsgold.com and discover how easy it is to protect your financial future. That's nextnewsgold.com. And that's the kind of smart thinking we all need right now. Because as you're about to see, the threats to America are very real. Now, I promise to show you exactly what's going on. Drones over D.C., bases on lockdown, a global security alert. Now, I'm going to show you what's really happening, starting with a breaking report, a defense-focused outlet that broke the story wide open. They've got details about exactly where these drones were spotted, and when you hear the location, you'll understand why the White House is scrambling. Fort Leslie McNair, not some remote outpost, but the home of our Secretary of State and our Defense Secretary, our Secretary of War. Unidentified drones flying over the residences, and still nobody knows who's operating them. But here's where it gets even more disturbing, because the speculation about who is behind this, well, it points directly at Iran. WION News put together a comprehensive breakdown that connects these dots between these drone incursions and the broader conflict with Iran. And the reporter digs into something the American media is barely touching: the possibility that this is a coordinated Iranian operation on U.S. soil. Now watch this very closely.
Is the West Asia war spiraling tensions on American soil? Unidentified drones reportedly flying over a key military base in Washington, D.C. has raised speculation about a possible surprise Iranian attack. Now, this is no ordinary base. It's located within a 5-kilometer radius of the White House and the Capitol Hill, Fort McNair. It is home to the National Defense University and the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment. And most importantly, top officials, including the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, reside here. As per reports, multiple drones were spotted flying over this very Army base at night over the past 10 days. Unlike other bases, Fort McNair reportedly lacks the same safety buffer. Now remember, while the origin of these drones remains unclear, reports suggest that a meeting was held at the White House to discuss the situation and consider relocating Hegseth and Rubio. However, neither of them has been moved so far. Meanwhile, Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell has refused to comment on the drones as well as the movement of the top officials for security reasons. This comes in the wake of the U.S. State Department ordering all American diplomatic posts to conduct immediate security assessments, citing potential for spillover effects from the West Asia war. For instance, the CENTCOM headquarters was reportedly put on lockdown twice this week owing to a suspicious package. As per reports, 2 bases in New Jersey and Florida raised their protection level.
Did you catch that? Multiple drones spotted over 10 days. A White House meeting to discuss relocating Rubio and Hegseth. The Pentagon refusing to comment. And here's the kicker. Kuwait just arrested 10 individuals affiliated with Hezbollah plotting terror attacks, complete with drones and photos of the Ayatollah Khomeini. This is not speculation anymore. And if you think this is isolated to just one base, well, think again, because another bombshell has just dropped. One of the most followed news aggregators on the planet just put this out, and it's going viral for good reason. He connects the drone incursion to a much bigger picture that the government is not telling you. The war with Iran, it is not 7,000 miles away anymore. Multiple domestic military bases locked down. A global security alert for all diplomatic posts overseas. This is not a drill, people. He said it perfectly. The war in Iran isn't 7,000 miles away. It's here, it's now, and it's flying over the homes of Trump's cabinet. But wait, because now we have even more details about what's really going on at these bases and can break down the full scope of the security crisis. And reveal something else about the other bases going on high alert that you need to hear. So pay attention. They're also tying this directly to Netanyahu's vow to hunt down Iranian officials because this is really the bigger picture. Watch.
Well, over the past few days, unidentified drones were spotted flying over a Washington Army base named Fort McNair. It's a base that doesn't usually find itself in the spotlight. But this time, the situation has raised more questions than answers because Fort McNair houses senior leaders of the Trump administration, including U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. According to reports, multiple drones were seen on at least one night in the past 10 days. Officials still don't know where they came from or who was operating them. Senior officials reportedly held internal discussions about possibly relocating both Rubio and Hegseth. However, no such action was taken. After the incidents, the U.S. Army was placed on heightened alert. Well, these developments come against the backdrop of rising tensions between the U.S., Israel and Iran, including the killings of Iranian security chief Ali Larijani and intelligence minister Ismail Khatib, with Israel keen to continue its assassinations.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and I have authorized the IDF to neutralize any senior Iranian official who has been located both intelligence-wise and operationally, without the need for additional approval. We will continue to target and hunt them all. Significant developments are also expected throughout today across all arenas, which will further escalate the war we are conducting against Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Well, other bases across the U.S. have also stepped up security. Locations like the McGuire Joint Base and MacDill Air Force Base have raised their force protection to levels which indicate a credible threat may be developing. At MacDill, which hosts U.S. Central Command, there have already been disruptions. A suspicious package forced one shutdown, and another security incident led to a shelter-in-place order that lasted for several hours. Well, none of these events have been directly linked, but together they paint a picture of increased caution. Back in Washington, Fort McNair's location adds another layer of concern as it sits close to both the White House and Capitol Hill, but it doesn't have the same security buffer as some larger military bases. This also isn't the first time drones like these have appeared, especially after the 2020 killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. And during the 2024 presidential campaign, drones were reported above high-profile figures, including Donald Trump.
Now, Fort McNair is just 5 kilometers from the White House and Capitol Hill. McGuire Joint Base, Vandenberg Air Force Base, CENTCOM headquarters, all on heightened alert. Suspicious packages, shelter-in-place orders lasting hours, and Netanyahu just authorized hunting Iranian officials without additional approval. Folks, we're watching a shadow war unfold on American soil. Now, let me tell you what this really means. And this is the bottom line, and I want you to hear this clearly. We have unidentified drones surveilling the homes of America's top defense and diplomatic officials. We have military bases coast to coast going on lockdown. We have a global security alert issued to every American diplomatic post on the planet. We have Iranian-backed terror cells being arrested with drones and propaganda materials. And the Pentagon won't say a word. President Trump's administration is clearly taking this threat seriously. But what we're witnessing is nothing less than the Iran conflict coming home to America. And this is what happens when you project strength overseas. The enemy probes for weaknesses right here at home. So this is exactly why we do what we do here at the Next News Network. While the mainstream media obsesses over nonsense, we're covering the stories that actually affect your safety and your freedom. Secretary Rubio and Secretary Hegseth are doing critical work for President Trump and for this nation, and they deserve to sleep safely in their own homes. And you deserve to know when foreign actors are testing our defenses on American soil. So share this video with everybody you know. They need to see this. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because when the next shoe drops, we will be right here to tell you the truth. I'm Gary Franchi, reporting from right outside the White House. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now. You know out.